Hey guys, this is SWTOR, and today I'm going to be giving a couple 4v4s on my engineering sniper. And I realize it's been a while since I've done a 4v4 map, so I decided to show a couple. The class balance, it's going to be two healers against our team having no healers, so it's a good game that really shows positioning and all of the game mechanics that engineering snipers have. So with our plasma probe, we have a lot of stealth scans that we can constantly put. So you want to make sure that you're using those constantly just to kind of check out for people. I saw they had an operative, which means they have the group stealth ability. But then after I saw them over there, the merc just jumps straight in, and this isn't a good strategy. He's all alone down there, and not, the rest of our team's still far behind. So what I do is I don't want to give away my positioning. Snipers need to have excellent positioning, but I make sure to do DPS on the shadow that overextends. I do my rotation, put my dots on him, stun him in the plasma probe with the EMP discharge, and then try rooting him, and then orbital strike and series of shots finishes him off with my dots. So even though they took down our merc really quickly because he just wasn't with the team at all, I was able to get down one of their shadows. So then when the rest of our team's over it, then it's okay to jump in. I decide to just kind of stay on the end for a little bit, but as soon as the healer bubbles, I know it's safe for me to roll right in, continue my DPS on the other guy. Now this is perfect for engineering snipers because all the enemy is contained in this one little area. That means we can do our orbital strike, our plasma probes, everything else that we need to be doing, and just keep the DPS strong. So as you can see, I'm interrupting heals, I'm putting my healing debuff on with Shatter Shot, pushing them away to kind of separate, and then we lack the burst to finish that person off, but I'm still able to slowly able to take them down. You're able to get some decent crits with the EMP discharge. So that was a good game, even though the person overextended toward the beginning. Just remember that we're able to take people down at such a distance that sometimes if you put your dots on the person, they won't even notice. Then put your plasma probe, stun them in your EMP, start on some series of shots, and the target will be done very quickly. This is why I like playing this spec. Even though it's a dot spec, it has a lot of different abilities that give it burst, but also spread the damage a little bit. So I don't know if I like it better than marksman. I really went back and forth of whether to do a marksman video or an engineering, but I decided to go with engineering. I'll probably do a marksman next time, unless any of you guys have a strong preference one way or another. So again, just kind of putting out the plasma probes just to check, but it looks like they were in the same area they were last time. And so I come over, and also remember that when you're in cover, you get a stealth increase, so when you're just waiting, you want to wait in cover. You can see the thing ticking on my bar, well, it was ticking. So then I go down into cover, start doing some DPS. Again, you can put the AoE abilities right on the edge. As you see, I was able to get damage on 3 of the people, which means I probably popped the shadow out of stealth. Now, because I stayed in stealth, I was able to see the operative down there. Because I was staying in cover, I got higher stealth detection, put my dots on a person, EMP discharge. Since he broke the EMP discharge, I was able to stun him, hard stun him, go into my series of shots, and force him to stealth out. Now I rolled over here, put my plasma probe, and by doing so, I root the person in my plasma probe and able to do some DPS and quickly finish him off. Now I rotate to the other healer, start putting my dots on the target, especially because he's trying to come close to me. Now remember that also our roll roots the target, so as he's trying to come a little bit closer here, I just roll through him, do a little bit of damage, root him in place, and able to do more DPS. Now since he's running away, it's time to put some dots on the target after I finish my series of shots. So I put a dot on the target, I put a root on the target so I can catch up, another dot, EMP discharge into my explosive probe shells, and a series of shots detonates them all, takedown finishes them off. Now I roll over here quickly, put one dot, another dot. As you can see, that's all we have to do. Root them inside the plasma probe, series of shots to finish them off. And that's basically how to play engineering, guys. We have a lot of group abilities to control people. We have our plasma probe that slows. I took in my discipline, my shatter shot slows. We have our root with EMP discharge. Basically, you have a lot of dots, and the more you can keep the people in your dots, the more damage you'll get, and surprisingly amount of burst. So again, As you can tell, root, 1 dot, plasma probe, stun in the EMP discharge, explosive probe, and series of shots. It's a pretty easy rotation to master once you kind of get your head wrapped around it, even though I see a lot of engineering snipers just not put roots in their rotation, which I just don't get. It's an extremely good ability to use, and it'll rack up your damage even though it might not seem like it at first. Alright, so this next 4v4 is on a different map, which is good to know because each map has its own kind of positioning that you want to do. As you saw, for snipers, we want to be up in the platforms. That gives us the ultimate range, it gives us the good viewpoint of the enemy, but also ways to escape. I didn't really have to escape because I had a lot of pressure on me. The reason for this is because they had 2 healers. They just didn't have a lot of DPS to put pressure on me. But instead I used good positioning to get DPS, use my controlling abilities, and but generally be effective taking their team down. So as you can see, same thing. They have some actually don't have stealth classes, but I wanted to, or they had 1 operative, so I wanted to put down my plasma probes. I see the Juggernaut jump in, and immediately I back away. I make sure to put my dots on the target, just kind of stack my offensive utilities around my explosive probe, which is always good. And as you can see, I'm being very far away, but then once the healer starts not taking a lot of damage, I jump on the healer. You want to make sure you're focusing him, putting on your healing debuffs, and generally just making it very hard for attack. Also, the fight is centered around the healer. Roll forward and push the guy away, and because I pushed the guy away, he has a root, and so I basically took him out of the fight for a couple seconds. But anyway, because most of the fighting is central around the healers, by putting my AoE dots and everything around, I also get a lot of splash damage and a lot of other damage on the rest of the people. Now, as you can see, I'm starting to get some focus, so I put up my shields to protect me and my team. Then I used my dodge just to dodge some of his abilities. I rolled his Ravage because there's a pretty good burst at the end of the Ravage. You want to avoid that. Again, just putting some more dots on the target. Now I see this person right here, so I try to push him away, but unfortunately the thing stops him. So I move forward, keep doing DPS, root him in place after my push root weared off, and then move around again. We have so many roots off our pushback, our roll, our actual root, that we can just, again, I rolled him, I rooted him in place again. I'm not attacking him, I'm attacking other people, but because of that, I was able to get him off my back. Engineering snipers are very bad at taking damage. We cannot take a huge amount of damage, and so the best way to stay alive is to make it very hard for people to attack you, period. So again, this was a pretty quick round. Our healer actually had a bubble first, and that's because our team wasn't really good at focusing the healer at first, but after I started putting some healing debuffs on people and focus myself more on the healer, we were able to get him down a lot quicker. Alright, so the next round goes pretty similar to the first round. Again, the thing about being on this bridge is that our pushback can separate the team, so just kind of remember that in the back of your mind as an option. Now again, just kind of checking over my shoulder, not really sure where everyone is, but then I look around, see the people come out, and then start putting some DPS on the target. I roll forward, and then I put my AoE dots on people, and then push the guy away. And again, you would just want to separate the team. But then watch where I turn. I turn away, and then root the guy again. And you can look on the red dot on the bottom right-hand corner of my screen to see how far and how much I'm taking away from the fight. For about 10 seconds, he can't do any damage. And then as soon as he gets back in, I roll forward, again, reposition myself. Once you push someone away, they're going to be very annoyed at you, and they might focus you in general. So again, you want to make yourself very hard to attack. This is great for engineering snipers. Again, being on the bridge, grouping up, you're able to do a lot of DPS very quickly, and I'm able to get a couple kills with the rest of my team. My one criticism for this game is that I'm not really following a perfect rotation. You can check out my engineering guide for the perfect rotation, but I kind of fell off it a little bit, and I'm not getting the perfect DPS burst, but it's alright, I'm still doing decent. But if you look at the end of the round and see I'm not getting top DPS, that's part of the reason why. Now again, the person jumped down, he went out of stealth, and so I quickly made sure to do a little bit of damage, and we get the kill. So hopefully those 2 quick games were able to help you a little bit, not just for snipers, but for 4v4s in general, since it's been a while since I've done the 4v4 map. A lot of the things I'm saying about position also applies to the classes like Mercs and Sorcs that are also kind of squishy and rely on good positioning to stay alive. So if you guys liked this video, please leave a like, hit me with a subscription, please, and I'll see you next time.